Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Grammy and Latin Grammy-nominated composer and pianist John Finbury. He was busy over the pandemic and has new 2021 singles for the world to listen to. The Andover, Massachusetts-based veteran teamed up with the likes of Christian McBride, Billy Martin, Larry Goldings, and much more to orchestrate this new music, including the tune Look at What a Mess You Made of Me. We cover the music, COVID, and what is going on these days with John. Enjoy the interview.
Well, hey, John, thanks for taking a minute out for Neon Jazz today. I appreciate it.
You bet. It's an honor.
You've been busy. You got 3 new singles out. We've clearly gone through some things since March of 2020. How does it feel to have new music out and the opportunities to perform live and things kind of getting back to snuff, so to speak?
Oh, it's like fresh oxygen in the air. I actually went to my first live concert a couple of weeks ago as Pat Metheny came through Boston with his new band, and so it was among the first live music I think I'd heard since the beginning of 2020.
Well, it's interesting. Speaking of the beginning of 2020, I moved to the hometown of Pat Metheny, and it's kind of like when you buy a car, you notice them everywhere. So all the Pat Metheny stories have a new relevance to me right now, but that new album is quite something.
Yeah, I think he was just nominated for a Grammy, too.
Yes. So you've, on your new singles, you have a lot of heavy hitters. You have Christian McBride, Larry Goldings, and a host of other cats. Talk to me about what it was like to collaborate with these musicians.
Well, we had to do it, because it was the pandemic, we had to do it long distance. We collaborated by Zoom, and these recordings are unlike recordings I have ever made before because they all had to be done remotely. So for the song that we did, the duo we did with Christian McBride and Camille Berthaud, just because of the pandemic, we thought the song Look at What a Mess You Made of Me would be good as a duo, like Sheila Jordan used to make. And it was that kind of swing music. Sent a lead sheet to Christian, and he knocked it off in 40 minutes in a studio in New Jersey, and then sent his bass track to Paris, where Camille, overdubbed the vocals on it. So it happened very quickly and quite easily. And, one of the magical things I think about the recording is it sounds live.
With a lot of these recordings that have been done collectively, I've been hearing so many good things, not only from the musicians, but myself, about how they genuinely do feel like you're in the same room together.
And that's, because of the strength of their playing, really. These are, with Christian, he immediately understood the spirit of the song. I think the only things I said to him at the session were think fast, swallow, and faster. Play it faster. And, he brought, not only his enormous athletic and, prowess and strength and mastery to it, but a sense of humor. So, and the same with Camille. She charming and delightful, and she immediately got the spirit of the song, and it was one that she wanted to record. And then with the other companion song with Look at What a Mess was Boulevard, and that's a song that Camille wrote the lyrics to herself. But like with Christian, we had to do that recording serially, and that actually, and I'm giving away secrets, but that actually began with Billy Martin just laying down the drum track first. And then his track was sent to Larry Goldings in L.A. at his home. And we sent an engineer to his house, and everyone's wearing masks, and I'm on a Zoom iPad with my co-producer Emilio Miller, and then he laid down his fabulous B3 organ, and then those tracks were then mixed and sent to Camille to finish. The other thing is, I think part of the opportunity of the pandemic was that no one was gigging, and so people were available to do these kinds of projects that may not have otherwise been available to me.
And I find that, too, to be fascinating about this time is that, there have been silver linings that have kind of happened, and it's given a lot of people opportunities to work with folks that typically would be booked solid and on the road all the time.
You bet. And, now as I look now at Camille, she is just, on the road and doing 5 gigs a week throughout Europe. And Christian, of course, is always packed and busy and, busiest man in show business. That is a silver lining. And The third single you mentioned was a little easier to do because that was a song I wrote, "Ring the Bells," with Thelma DeFreitas, who I had done a full album with back in 2020 called Sorchi. That was written right after we heard that Chick Corea had died. And that was one where I just went to the piano after I heard that and had this certain feeling and started playing, and I just recorded what I was playing on an iPhone, sent the recording to Thelma, who, you know, is a close collaborator and a close friend now, and she woke up in LA the next morning and heard what I had done, and by that afternoon she had lyrics and a melody and we had a quick arrangement, again as a duo, so it's quite simple. And then once things loosened up a little bit, I went to a studio here near my home in Massachusetts, recorded the piano part, sent it out to her, and she went to a studio in LA and did all the vocals and arrangement. We had a record.
So talk to me a little bit about, you know, during this time of COVID, you know, there's been a lot of self-reflection that's gone into it. What did you learn or discover about yourself that maybe you didn't realize before that's going to make you stronger now as we all kind of reemerge?
Really good question. Well, one of the things I think I have a parallel career, I would say. I have as an attorney. I've been an attorney for 35 years, and one of the things that the pandemic did was completely shut down my practice. Courts closed, and they're just opening up now again. And so I had, for the first time, a lot of time to creative output for creative reflection, for composing, where normally I would fit my composing into the early morning or weekends or holidays or evenings. I now had all day. And where in the past I was always consistently working on a song or a composition, but if I was able to create one song a month that I thought was what I would call a keeper or worthwhile, my output really was more continuous and more, I was putting out more music that I thought was, of a quality where I would want to record it. So it's been a really, really creative time for me just the past 2 years. And with collaboration, you asked, so one of the things, what have I learned? And one of the things I've learned, certainly collaborating with lyricists, is to let go. And once you ask someone to collaborate with you and write lyrics, do not bring your college 101 poetry standards to their lyrics, especially when they're writing in another language. It's completely let go and let them do their thing and accept what it is, and it's usually great. Where in the past, sometimes when I was working with a lyricist, I would insert myself and say, well, what about this? Or I don't understand what you're saying here. I think that would, as I think back on it, and what I've learned is that's a mistake. That once I agree to collaborate with someone, especially another artist who knows what they're doing, let them do their thing and let go. My realm is the musical realm, but when it comes to lyrics, unless we're collaborating on the lyrics, to just accept what they do and let them do their thing.
Beautiful. Hey, John, thank you for opening up about the recordings. Good luck with the recordings and the return to the live stage. I really appreciate your time.
All right, thanks. Pleasure to talk with you, Joe.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in Andover, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to John for his time, music, and cool. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino in the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.